Here we are at Clothesline, the show where we string them up, put them to dry and wring them clean on the clothesline. Before getting into the meat of the show, we thank you for the amazing feedback you've been giving us, and also for the brickbats. We all need to be pulled back down to earth every once in a while. I'd asked you last week how we should go forward, viewer-funded model for News Laundry or advertiser-funded. Your views and suggestions will play in the ticker below. In fact, here they are. Starting with MS Oberoi, who says, I will pay for this kind of news, trust our team to pick that up. But he has a caveat. Should be affordable and content purely online. Selenium Glow, lovely name, says, yes, I would pay if this can remain unbiased about whose leg to pull. Of course. Harsh Bedi says, of course people will pay if they hear what they like, and many more. More on what we got from your advice at the end of the show. But first, let's get to the clothesline business. It's been a bit of a lean week, what with Arnab no longer caring about the sorrows of a billion hearts and forgetting the IPL drama. So we've been able to catch a breather by watching some fiction programming instead. A 180 crore fiction program funded by the government of India, of course by the taxpayers, which is you, and has a wonderfully melodious ring to it. Literally translated, that means India is under construction. Tell me something I didn't know. So there is this Bharat Nirman ad blitzkrieg which coincidentally coincides with the complete vanishing of any scam, coal, 2G or any other JPC affair off the air. Conspiracy theorists say that all these new channels have got so many Bharat Nirman ads, it has made them go easy on the government. We don't believe conspiracy theories like that one. We just help spread the word. And it's not like we're bitter about not getting any Bharat Nirman ads or anything. But the damage to the government is done by the ad itself. Really, you'd think they'd learn from the India shining debacle of the NDA, which was the brainchild of the late Pramod Mahajan. And we know no child of his ever was reason for pride. What his brainchild India Shining did was to rub salt into the wounds of a long-suffering public. And our guess is this campaign will do pretty much the same.
अरे चौधरी सठिया गया क्या? सीढ़ियाँ अपने आप चलती है कभी?
अरे चलती है ना, अपने आप चलती है सीढ़ियाँ। एक तरफ से यूं ऊपर, नीचे, और दरवाजे अपने आप खुल जाते हैं और अपने आप बंद हो जाते हैं। खुलते हैं, बंद होते हैं। अरे भाई ऐसे, 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 ऐसे। उसके बाद आसमान पर फर्र से और जमीन पे फर्र से, ऐसे आकाश में, ऐसे पाताल में, आकाश में, पाताल में।
चौधरी साहब, दिल्ली हो गया आए हो क्या?
अरे तुझे कैसे पता?
भारत सरकार की नीतियों के तहत दिल्ली मेट्रो जैसी वर्ल्ड क्लास मेट्रो रेल सर्विसेज हमारे यहाँ
और क्या, आपके हाथ में ही है, सोच लो।
Obviously, the irony of this ad seems to have escaped the Congress party. When you show villagers talking about the comforts and conveniences in Delhi, air-conditioned climate control, doors that open and close automatically, stairs that move up and down automatically, a prime minister who says yes or no automatically, no, sorry, not the last one. But all you're doing is highlighting that majority of Indians not only live without ever having even seen these amenities, but are so far removed from them that the very idea seems fantastical. Kind of kills the claim of inclusive growth, na? If you reverse the situation, it would be something like this.
Rahul Baba, in villages one has to walk to get water.
Of course one has to. There is no running water in homes. People walk 10 miles to get water this way, 10 miles that way to get water. 10 miles this way, 10 miles that way. This way, that way. This way, that way. For drinking water.
Mamma mia! What nimbu pani?
क्यों राहुल, गाँव हो गया हो क्या?
As villagers listen incredulously to one of their peers talk about the wonders of the big city, the only question that must arise in their minds is, wait, how the hell did he manage to get a real ticket to the city, considering he can never get a Tatkal ticket even if we log on within 1 millisecond of online ticket sales opening? But let's try not to be too self-indulgent city folk for once. The question that must have arisen in the minds of the village folk seeing this ad is, why don't we have all these things? Hamara number kab aayega? Also, just one little bit of fiction. Glistening metros, smooth and clean. Where oh where did they shoot this footage? Pristine anal Germany? Take a look at the reality. But this isn't the only ad which asks for a suspension of disbelief from the audience. There's another La La Land we're taken to in the next gem from the Bharat Nirman anthology.
वैसे right to information तो दिया है सरकार ने.
Wow, wow, wow. How proud we are of our Prime Minister and the guiding light of the Congress. Separate matter that they had very little to do with bringing the RTI to effect. But then we all know it's so boring to give credit where it's due. And since they were instrumental in getting RTI into effect, of course they wouldn't mind being under the ambit of it, right? Wrong.
इस निर्णय से पूरी तरह असहमत है. हम इसका समर्थन नहीं कर सकते.
I can tell you, having just a short while ago seen and read the order, I have no doubt, both as a congressman, as a spokesperson, but more importantly as a lawyer, to say that the order is completely and grievously wrong.
And I think that we shouldn't be overtly sensitive to the evolving nature of RTI, but at the same time, I think it's important to keep a practical control of RTI objectives.
The best thing for the UPA to do now is to pull this ad off the air. It makes them look sillier than Advani looked when he was talking about the feel-good mood during the India Shining campaign. Speaking of looking silly on the RTI issue, Congress has some keen competition.
और सरकार को तत्काल कदम उठाना चाहिए जो CIC ने जो फैसला किया है ये उनके अधिकार क्षेत्र की बात नहीं. वो देश की राजनीति को भी बिल्कुल नहीं जानते.
वो देश की राजनीति को नहीं जानते. कौन जानता है इस देश की राजनीति? ये?
I'm not such a hard-nosed politician, but I'm getting there.
25th was Saturday, 26th was Sunday, 27th was Memorial Day of United States of America. And so 3 days there were holidays.
Exactly. That's what the government wants. Silence, keep quiet, do not speak, put your fingers on your lips. But this is not propaganda-loving fascist Italy. Or wait for it, News Laundry, be prepared for Twitter abuse. This isn't propaganda-loving Italy or propaganda-loving Gujarat. Oh. Now, when it comes to ads, we say the BJP's, or rather Narendra Modi's Gujarat campaign is a lot more successful than the UPA campaign. We'll also tell you why, but it's equally ridiculous.
Breathe in a bit of Gujarat.
Captain. Captain. Vice Captain. Ek mat Gujarat.
Breathe in a bit of Gujarat.
The most interesting is the Thappad series of ads. These ads position the people of Gujarat, or indeed the state of Gujarat, against the centre.
गुजरात ने थप्पड़ केंद्र सरकार ने.
The centre is mean to you, you are being victimized, etc., etc. You know the best way to justify the most horrible actions for anyone? Make them believe they are victims. If you believe you're a victim, you can justify the most horrible and cruel action perpetrated by yourself and your own. The victim mindset has been used by people and governments forever to justify anything. If you believe you're the victim, you're so busy feeling bad for yourself you can never empathize with another. Nakshal recruiters have used it very effectively. Tribal people, you are victims and all your misery is because of the Indian state. So it's okay to kill, maim and torture the other. Nazi Germany did it too. Dear Germans, you are victims at the hands of the Jews. They are miserly and control all the money and you are poor and unhappy because of them. Jihadi terror recruits. All you Muslim youth, you are victims. All others hate you and your religion and despise you and you live in horrible conditions, not because the Taliban have 12th century rules of not allowing women to study or read or speak or work or live just because America allows theirs too. And this, oh you poor victim being bullied by the cruel centre, is the brainwashing being done here. Clever. Narendra Bhai, very clever. But it's always going to be hard convincing the rest of India that you're a victim. You don't quite have that victim type look. or reputation. And it's going to be equally hard to convince people that this guy here can bully you around. This guy? Bully? Really? Who's going to believe that? But both have been able to hang in there at the top job for longer than most. So what are the Gujarat ads about?
દેશ વિદેશના ઇન્વેસ્ટર અહીં રોકાણ કરવા આવે, સાથે સાથે રોજગાર ને વિકાસ તાણી લાવે. લક્ષ્મી ચાંદલો કરવા આવે ગુર્જર કેરા દ્વારે ને કેન્દ્ર એને ઇન્કમ ટેક્સની નોટિસો ફટકારે. આપણા વાઇબ્રન્ટ ગુજરાત સમિટમાં રોકાણ કરવા આવતા રોકાણકારોને કેન્દ્ર સરકાર ઇન્કમ ટેક્સની નોટિસો ફટકારે છે. એટલે અહીંયા રોકાણ પણ અટકે અને વિકાસ પણ અટકે. આને કહેવાય અન્યાય. ગુજરાતને કેન્દ્ર સરકારનો હળહળતો અન્યાય.
Message of ad. You're asked to pay income tax. It's a slap on your face. Fadash thappad. What kind of idiot pays income tax? What injustice?
કેન્દ્ર સરકાર તરફથી મહારાષ્ટ્રને કોલસો મળે સસ્તો, મહારાષ્ટ્ર અને આંધ્રને કોલસો મળે નજીકથી, અને કેન્દ્ર સરકાર તરફથી ગુજરાતને કોલસો મળે મોંઘો, ઓછો અને દૂર દૂરના ખૂણામાંથી. ગુજરાતને થપ્પડ કેન્દ્ર સરકારને, કારણ કે ગુજરાતને કેન્દ્ર સરકાર તરફથી મોંઘા ભાવે કોલસો મળે, અને જે મળે એ પણ ખૂબ દૂરથી મળે. એટલે કોલસા કરતા એને લાવવાનો ખર્ચ વધી જાય. અરે ઘાટ કરતા ઘડામણ મોંઘી પડે છે ગુજરાતને, અને ગુજરાતની પ્રજા પર પડે છે વધારાનો 1000 કરોડનો બોજો. કોલસો મોંઘો એટલે વીજળી પણ મોંઘી. આને કહેવાય અન્યાય. ગુજરાતને કેન્દ્ર સરકારનો હળહળતો અન્યાય.
Message of ad. Coal is supplied expensive to Gujarat, whereas it's cheap for Maharashtra and Andhra. It's a slap on your face, Gujaratis. Fadach thappad. It's a miracle Mr. Modi didn't call for war against the other two states.
દિન તાક દિન દિન તાક દિન કોઈ કરે છે જોબ, કોઈ વેપાર કરે છે, કોઈ ફેરીઓ ઘરે ઘરે દિન રાત ફરે છે. એક એક ગુજરાતી મહેનત સખત કરે છે, પાઈ પાઈ જોડીને જુઓ બચત કરે છે. ગુજરાતીઓની આ બચતનો આંક પહોંચ્યો 3 લાખ કરોડે. પણ ગુજરાતની 3 લાખ કરોડની થાપણો સામે એને મળ્યા ધિરાણો ખાલી 2 લાખ કરોડના. તો વચ્ચેના 1 લાખ કરોડ ગયા ક્યાં? ગુજરાતની આ કમાણી શું જઈ કેન્દ્રમાં સમાણી? આને કહેવાય અન્યાય. ગુજરાતની કેન્દ્ર સરકારનો હળહળતો અન્યાય.
Message of ad. Every Gujarati works hard to save every penny and the centre swallows it all. Fadach thappad. Of course, no one else in the country is working and saving or doing anything.
દેશમાં સૌથી વધારે સૂર્યના કિરણો ક્યાં પડે?
ગુજરાત અને રાજસ્થાનમાં.
દેશમાં રણ કયા 2 રાજ્યોમાં?
ગુજરાત અને રાજસ્થાનમાં.
એશિયાનો સૌથી મોટો સોલર પાર્ક કોણે બનાવ્યો?
ગુજરાતે.
દેશમાં સૌથી વધારે સૌર ઉર્જા કોણ આપે?
ગુજરાત.
તો પછી દેશમાં સૌથી વધારે સોલર પ્રોજેક્ટ્સ કોને મળવા જોઈએ?
ગુજરાતને.
ગુજરાતને થપ્પડ કેન્દ્ર સરકારને. આટલું કર્યા પછી પણ કેન્દ્ર સરકારે રાજસ્થાનને આપ્યા 880 સોલર પ્રોજેક્ટ્સ અને ગુજરાતને માત્ર 20. આને કહેવાય અન્યાય. ગુજરાતને કેન્દ્ર સરકારનો હળહળતો અન્યાય.
Which state has the finest record in solar energy? Gujarat. Where does the most sunshine fall in India? Gujarat. Obviously because the sun shines out of Narendra Modi's relax, TV ads. Speaking of weird ads, what sense does this ad make? Be the change. Destructively? By burning sofas and chairs? It costs money. It's people's property. What's the point? Here's a suggestion. They could show the same people running to villages to build schools, medical centers, toilets, teach the illiterate, even just going to college and studying. Any number of things. But why do that when you've got to run like mad to make a bonfire of furniture? Times of India. Get the change right. Death and tragedy is something that our channels have just not been able to report on with the slightest shred of dignity or decency. Week after week, they find deeper and deeper crevices to crawl into to set a new standard of terrible reporting. After the horrible way the wounded and dead were shown post the Knoxville attack week before last week Hindi film actor Jia Khan's suicide provided some channels an opportunity to try their hand at their true calling, B-grade cinema storytelling, before fate threw them into positions of news editors or reporters. That was a film. The suicide is real life. Get the difference? It seems famous people are just anonymous people to the media. They would never do that to someone they knew. Would they allow such exploitation of a tragedy if it were their colleague, sister or mother or friend? To you guys who so often use mother and sister in abuses, when an instance like this happens, bring to mind your mother or sister or daughter and treat the tragedy of the famous person who is anonymous to you as you would treat a tragedy of your own. Respect is then inevitable. Instead, at a time like this, the news channels call on someone who is just up their street to discuss such a serious tragedy.
मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा शॉक लगा है और मैं जिया खान के बारे में सोच ही नहीं सकती हूँ कि वो ऐसे कदम उठा लेगी. मतलब फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में एक भूचाल आ गया है, एक ट्विस्टर आ गया है. क्या हो गया फिल्म इंडस्ट्री को? किसकी नजर लग गई है फिल्म इंडस्ट्री को? Oh my God!
We've seen interviews of politicians in their homes or offices for years. And for years we've heard what they say, mostly nothing of consequence. But you see, an interview at home is not so much about what they are saying, which they want you to hear, but more about what they are showing, that they want their leaders to see. We call it the politics of background scenery. Keeping in mind that memory is short in politics, not to mention just a little fickle, our politicians have a unique way of reminding themselves of where their loyalties and allegiances lie. When you are normally interviewed by any TV channel, the cameraman will want the standard plant or a statue at the back. But the politician will want a photo to prove how loyal he or she is. This one says, forget Ma Mati Manush, it's Ma Mati Momata, who will always occupy a place higher than my head. This one says, who's the damn cameraman who cut the full-size image out of the frame? Want to get me fired or demoted? This says, try to outdo that, the rest of you. Ha! Chamcha in chief position is mine forever. Promoted. This says, even though daddy is gone, he's telling me what to do with the instructional finger raised. And if it weren't for him, I'd be nothing. This says, see, even my pose matches his. I'm the real heir. This says, my daddy Mulayam was young and handsome once like me. So what if it's a flattering painting and not a real picture? This says, I'm defiant yet loyal. The Congress can't do without me. Indira ki jai. Okay, so the Congress can do without me and don't give a damn about me and don't even give me a bigger picture of the man I worship. But I'm still a loyal lamb, even if the photo is small. Ho, ho, ho. Even the Aam Aadmi is learning the tricks of the trade. Okay, this is Smriti Irani saying this. I know he is no longer our real leader, but with the kind of confusion in the BJP, I didn't know whose picture to put. Advani, Modi, Rajnath, Sushma. He's still only the safe bet for us. Which is also why most BJP netas have a Kamal ki photo behind them and not a person's picture. Who knows in fighting mein kaun jeetega? And finally, our very own INB Minister Manish Tiwari outdoing everyone, making sure he leaves nothing to chance. Indira, Rajiv and Sonia all in the frame. While that may be clever, Manish, just want to point out the picture you've selected of Rajiv and Sonia is a lovely picture. It's really a beautiful moment by any standards. A spontaneous and intimate quality about that picture. The way Rajiv is looking at Sonia as if it's just the two of them, a romantic picture of a handsome couple. Having it in your home or office doesn't say I'm a loyal party worker, it says I'm a really creepy weirdo. That picture belongs in the Gandhi home, not your office. That's it for the week. But before the wrap-up line, coming back to your feedback on whether News Laundry should go the ad-funded model and take money from corporations and advertisers, or viewer-funded model, where regular people like you pay for free news. As you can see, we got an overwhelming response in favor of the viewer-funded model, although half a dozen people were of the view that people won't pay. They're not used to paying for news, and they will never pay for news to be free of political or corporate interference, even if they crib about it otherwise. Many of you have offered to start paying at once, and we are grateful for that. For the next 3 weeks, we are shifting office, setting up systems, trying to become bigger and better to bring you fair, fearless and useful news, views and laughs. Do keep your views and feedback coming in on whether you think people will pay to keep News Laundry going or not, and how much they'll pay, in your opinion. We need to know because we need to decide whether we too should start pitching for the next Bharat Nirman ad campaign. That's a wrap for the week. Till next time, we'll keep track of you while you keep track of what's happening. If you have any moments from journalism that made you go, oh wow, or oh shit, write into us or tweet to us. Peace, stay connected, stay online.